Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we're looking at this Ego's newest, most powerful handheld leaf blower. Let's get into it. Now, Ego's no stranger to hyperbole, and they threw the sticker right on here saying it's the industry's most powerful handheld blower. Well, is it?
I don't hold jail against you. I hate a liar.
One of the other stickers they throw on here for us is this 765 cubic feet per minute air movement. That is impressive numbers for a leaf blower. We're going to put this through its paces, and we're going to see how that translates to real world experience. But at least they're, at least they're coming out of the gate strong. They're really saying this is the industry's best. So we're going to go check this out. What I think is interesting is they don't even say, they don't put a qualifier and say electric or cordless handheld blower. They're saying it's the most powerful handheld blower, period. That's interesting. As a leaf blower, it is pretty darn simple to operate. They pretty much all are. So basically, there is a battery compartment here that you slide on. This is the 4 amp hour battery, and I'm going to slide that on there for comparison. And then you simply pull the trigger and it fires. You have a turbo button here on the top, which if you have it at full blast, gives you like that extra burst of oomph to get through any tough debris and things that you have. I'm going to go on a tangent here and say I hate this. I hate this turbo button. I don't want a turbo button. I want that to just be included in full power. And if I don't want to use full power, I will feather the trigger and not use as much power, right? I hate that I have to basically hold the trigger and hold the turbo button down the whole time when I'm using it. That's annoying. And every leaf blower company out there does this. Every electric leaf blower company does this. But it's really stupid because if they look at how their users actually use this, they're almost always using this turbo button, which means that they have to hold it down, and they can't even take advantage of the cruise control because then they still have to hold the turbo button down. I'd almost rather have a pause button here where the turbo is, so that when I'm running on cruise control and I'm hitting somewhere where I don't need to be blowing at full blast, I could hit the pause button. That would be more useful to me than a turbo button. Just make the turbo part of the normal operation of the blower. But I digress. As you saw, this also has a nice, very simple, easy to use cruise control. You don't even have to hold the trigger and move it together. Some manufacturers make it like a locking mechanism. You kind of like hold the trigger and pull this forward. It's much nicer. It's just straight throttle right there. So that's fantastic. It's a very nice cruise control on your blower speed. I just wish the turbo button, as I've mentioned. Other than that, it's sucking, you can see how it works. It's sucking air in through this great ventilated honeycomb-like apparatus and blowing it out through the end. You get a couple of different nozzles. A couple things I really like about this is that it does have a locking mechanism on this. It's not like a twist motion or a tension fit. It's got a dedicated locking motion that locks in there real good. Same with your tips. Actually, it locks in there really good. I might have to. This has been on there a while. Okay. Now you're just making me look silly. There we go. Okay. I don't ever take this off, as you can probably tell. But that just basically slides right on there, and then it clicks in. And that's it. That's all the controls. Let's go see it in action. As you can imagine, just blowing off your driveway, it's overkill. Like, you can easily take this stuff right off your driveway. It's going to move leaves and needles and pine cones and everything else that you throw at it. All right, it's out here in the yard where you got the sticks and everything else that really separates a leaf blowers, the contenders from the pretenders. Let's see what this Ego model can do with this. Look at all those sticks and things there. Wow, see, that just blasted that whole group of sticks right out of there. So right now, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm just running it in high mode. I don't have the turbo going, and it's obviously, it's good, but I'm missing that punch, especially as I get over here to the stick. I'm not blasting a hole through that like I was, like all of a sudden, bam, man, that's just cutting right through it, right? So this is where the turbo button is really actually annoying, because I'd rather just have it giving me that turbo the whole time. And I understand that's going to sacrifice some runtime, but I'd rather have the power over the runtime right now. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not a lot to cover here. Leaf blowers are pretty self-explanatory, and if you need an educational tutorial on one, then it's probably maybe over-engineered. But this thing is an absolute beast. That 765 CFM, I believe it. It is way more powerful than any other cordless leaf blower I've used. More powerful than any gas handheld leaf blower I've used. It's so powerful that it's hard for me to imagine Ego could make a more powerful one. When I'm using it and hitting that turbo button, it almost kind of like drives my hand back a little bit, and it's just an absolute turbine right on here. It is so powerful. It is fantastic. If you're looking for power, this is it. It's going to be hard to find something more powerful than this. Now, Ego does make a backpack model, which, you know, if you're going to be doing your whole yard, definitely recommend that. And it makes even more power. It supposedly does 800, and it allows you to put 2 battery packs on for extended runtime, which is probably great. Fantastic blower. Exactly what I'd expect from Ego. They're very good across the outdoor lineup. Fully recommend it. It's a great tool. Add it to your collection, and I don't think you'll regret it one bit. As far as run times, sorry, I should cover that. As far as run times, with the 4 amp hour battery, if you're going full out on high, especially with the turbo down like I do, which I think is how most people probably use it when they're out in the yards anyway, you're going to get about 10 to 15 minutes of use. And that's not, I think that's pretty good. And certainly if you got other batteries to cycle out, it'll be fine. If you got the 12 amp hour batteries, like from the Ego Z6 mower, you're going to get a great amount of runtime. That's probably going to be more like 20 to 30 minutes plus. And you get a couple of those, you're probably going to, like, I know my internal battery is going to run down before the batteries run down for this. So more than enough to keep me in the field. So it's fantastic. Definitely would not recommend pairing this with a 2.5 amp hour battery. I just think it'll be really nice and light in your hand, but it won't last. You know, you're going to get 5-10 minutes maybe, and that's without using a lot of generous turbo. And the other thing is, with a 2.5 amp hour battery, you don't actually it doesn't trigger the full force of this. I noticed not a lot, but just a little bit less power coming out of this unit using the 2.5 amp hour versus something like the 4 or definitely the 12 amp hour. So something to keep in mind. Not probably much that you'll notice, but something to keep in mind. That's it. That covers this review. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And if you could, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Thanks.